Last summer, maybe you saw this video about some of the Friends of the Loew's volunteer work going on at the Loew's Jersey Theater.
I'm Tom Taylor, and I'm here in the mid-balcony of the Loew's Jersey Theater. And right here is a railing and a series of posts, original to the theater. The original stain and the original paint is here. Now, there's been a lot of dirt through the years, a lot of aging, discoloration. And what we are trying to do is to restore all of this to the way it looked way back in 1929.
Now, after that video was shot, Tom and the other FOL volunteers were kind of busy. Wooden handrails were unscrewed, lifted up, and taken out of the balcony for the first time in 90 years. Outside the theater, volunteers stripped their old finish and sanded smooth rough spots. Back in the balcony, more volunteers scraped and wire brushed the metal posts to get rid of decades of rust, grime, and chewing gum. Then the posts were washed and rinsed over and over again to make sure they were ready for priming, the next step in the sequential restoration process to make them look like new again.
All of this metal here is made out of cast iron. And back in 1929, they couldn't use patinas on these, and they did not choose to use aluminum leaf on this metal either. They just simply painted it gold, which is what we have done. Now, the color you're looking at right now is actually a mix of two colors, a lot of gold and a little bit of bronze. Now, to do this particular section, to shade it, to tint it a little darker, we're going to reverse the proportions of the paints. Much, much more of the bronze and just a little bit of the gold, so that you pay attention to the actual design.
Meanwhile, the railings were stained and varnished in an old dressing room that hosted stars of the 1930s and more recent ones like Courtney Barnett and Kurt Weill, Beck, and Stephen King.
Roughly 9, maybe 10 hours, depending, to take a railing from the way it looked when we took them off to this nice new look that they have.
So, after 3 coats of varnish, the refinished rail was reunited with the restored posts. Good for another 90 years. Pretty solid here.
And now we've come full circle since last summer. The posts on both sides of this aisle have been restored, the railings have been restored and have returned to the theater, and now everything looks practically brand new, just as it did back in September 1929. The Loew's is a huge theater, and there are always projects to be done. Among them, more posts and railings to be worked on. So if you would like to be involved in a project where the end result is something that will look as good as this, please consider volunteering.